All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here talking about real music, real issues, and doing it in real time for a few real people just like you and just like me. So Ted Nugent is out there blasting D. Snider, and it is kind of entertaining. I'm going to say that. I mean, I'm not too nutty. Look, I think Ted Nugent is a great guitar player, underrated, underappreciated. Sometimes he comes off a little cartoonish, but I like Uncle Ted. You know, if you like David Lee Roth and you're on the sort of the left side of the political spectrum, you should equally like Ted Nugent if you're on the right side of the political spectrum. Give Uncle Ted credit. He's done his career sober. He's done his career drug-free. So good for Uncle Ted. That's something that people don't talk about very much. And when Ted puts it out there and says some things that I think are countercultural in his industry, people just shrug it off and go, well, that's not what we do, Ted. You know, I know you're a little different. So Nugent wants an apology from Snider, who apparently, has been just badgering Ted Nugent. By the way, Snider also tested positive for the thing this past summer, despite getting the thing. And Nugent got pretty sick from the thing and used a slightly different protocol. Oh, I had to say that word, but he did. And, apparently it was rough for a while, but he got through it. And he's a bit older. I think Ted is 72 or 73, whereas Snider is probably late 50s, maybe 60-ish. So Ted probably higher at risk than Snider. And they both got through it. Snider will probably tell you that, it was a walk in the park. Good thing I did what I did, because that's all you hear these days. And how many more of those is D going to need? Whereas Nuge probably won't need to do that. And why would you want to? So Ted says, a guy like D. Snider, how can you abandon your humanity and take pleasure in another person's sickness? So when Nugent got sick, right, somebody tweeted out, some dude from the band Testament, that it's just so beautiful when they found out about Nugent getting sick. Because, see, here's the thing. These people do wish ill, literal ill, and even death. I mean, Gene Simmons said, if some of these people die, that's fine. That'll teach them a lesson. Okay, that's good. So we are in a different place because we do wish ill on people that we don't like. Nugent, however, decided to take the high road, and I would never hear this from anybody on that side, on the ABC News, CBS This Morning side of the equation. Nugent said this, that wishing people ill based on party politics or any other factors is never acceptable. Amen. This is a really good paragraph here. So the little boys and girls that are getting leukemia, do they deserve that? He said. Are you kidding me? I suppose when someone gets cancer and they keep smoking and drinking and eating food that isn't food, I love that part about food that isn't food. I suppose at some point you do deserve that because you know that that's bad for you and you keep doing it. That's when you deserve something. But what kind of mindless idiot would take pleasure in anybody, even if they hate my politics? And if you hate my politics, you've got to be a real dirtbag, because my politics are freedom. My politics are self-evident truth based in God-given individual rights, God, family, country, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, work ethic, law and order, the 10 Commandments, and the Golden Rule. You have a problem with that? That's the foundation of America. Amen. So if you have a problem with Ted Nugent's politics, you are a bad, bad person. Ted continued talking about Tom Morello and Carlos Santana, who apparently both like to wear a Che Guevara t-shirt. He goes on, so you're a supporter of genocide? So again, Nugent appeared on Off the Record, where he once again said that he won't take the thing because they are available in the United States and they were developed in less than a year. And yeah, okay. He goes, it's not a thing, he said. And he went on to talk about the wonderful emperor and a certain agency called the FDA. I don't believe it's a thing, he reiterated. Most of America doesn't believe it's a thing. The only ones that are taking it are either gullible or being forced because they're going to lose their job, lose their life, and lose their livelihood. Yep, there you go. So I don't know. The thing that I think is irritating is that Snider, I think, is just a publicity hound. And you could say that Nugent also enjoys publicity. But after reading that paragraph where he goes, line by line, what America is actually about, it's really refreshing, because I don't know if any of these other people understand what America was founded on. And we're losing that because they're teaching kids not to like each other in school because of something that they can't change about themselves. Imagine that. Yes, we need to teach Johnny to hate Bobby because you guys don't look the same. And that's what we're going to do. This isn't Martin Luther King stuff anymore. This isn't content of your character. We are in a very strange third dimension, a place that's very foreign to a lot of Americans who grew up with, putting your hand over your heart and saying the Pledge of Allegiance and looking at the flag and understanding what that meant. Now, no country is perfect. America has made a ton of mistakes, but it seems like we're making even more mistakes now, and all in the name of trying to right the wrongs we did in the past, which, again, the past is gone. Okay, it's in the past. What we should be focusing on is the present and making the present the best it can be. But we're ignoring all of our problems because we're focused on all this stuff that has nothing to do with our current situation. And if you think, printing a bunch of money and giving it to people that don't deserve it or haven't earned it is a great idea to stimulate economic growth, well, again, it's a lot like a drug user. A lot of these rock stars from the 1980s, like Snider, can probably relate to that kind of stuff, get a quick hit. Ted Nugent never did the drugs. He never drank alcohol. I'm not saying he wasn't involved in some other things that were nefarious, but he's touted being sober and clear-headed for years and years. For a guy his age, he's very sharp. He can talk faster than Ben Shapiro, so I would say that Ted Nugent is still on his game, and good for him. Did you think that Ted Nugent, the outdoorsman, the rugged individualist, was going to allow the government to tell him what to do with his own body? Come on. And, even if he said some hyperbolic things at the beginning, a lot of us were saying crazy stuff at the beginning, and some of us were right. And some of us can continue to say crazy stuff now because you're only getting a small portion of the information, right? Now, if you come here, you're going to get hints to maybe look into some other stuff, but I can't just read to you certain statistics because then I would have to not be on this platform because they would get rid of my channel, which is sad. I could say more over on Rumble. Rumble is now publicly traded or whatever, and that's pretty good news. But again, I don't have this big income stream, so I really rely on people watching these videos and also going over to Patreon for like $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever you can afford to do as we move forward, because it's going to get harder and harder to convey even language that is somewhat obscuring the actual words that I really want to say, which is crazy, but that's where we're at. And I've been doing it fairly well, except one instance where I slipped up. And you could see that video over on Rumble. But in the meantime, all I can say about Ted Nugent, D. Snider, is it would be good if these guys could settle their differences. But D. Snider just throws bombs, and his bombs, they're bombs of misinformation. They're just bombs of government propaganda. You know, you put D. Snider into the government rock star category because that's where he is, along with so many other bands. We talked about the Foo Fighters the other day. These people, you know, we want more protocols, says the Foo Fighters. Huh? You know, D. Snider wants you to walk around probably in a hermetically sealed bag. You know, oh, well, I can't breathe. Tough luck. This is what you have to do. So in any event, it's weird watching this stuff unfold, but we'll continue to do it for as long as we can. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.